Governor, I don't think I can go on, mate. I can't do it, mate. Those bastards they've shot me marching band off. Look, it's gone. It's totally gone.
What are you talking about? Don't be such a fucking muppet. Stick some leaves in it, and we'll stick you a new one on when we get back. Fucking woofda.
All right, yeah, no worries. Yeah, leaves, yeah, sweet. Look, Gov, now we're back home, do you think I could, maybe have my hair back, please? Fucking hell.
Oh, for fuck's sake, you moany bastard. Oh, yeah, fucking hell. There, sort yourself out, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate, sweet. Yeah, cheers, Gov. Oh, fucking hell.
Hello there my friends and welcome to the Capo Gaming. My name is Ryan and today we're going to be playing Black Ops 3. Okay, so I'm going to start this with a little bit of a spoiler. I'm not really a big fan of the Call of Duty games of late. My love for the franchise comes from the World War era Call of Duty games. Those games really kicked single and multiplayer gaming in the Rusty Exit. The COD game I spent most of my time on was probably United Offensive way back when. A friend of mine used to play it religiously. Apart from all the murdering we did was, in-game. We kind of made a clan and we would go on modded servers and all that sort of shit, and we kicked ass. Like, we were really good at this. I'll admit, I did enjoy the first Modern Warfare. It was a big change, but it was a good change, you know what I mean? Like we needed it back then. We don't so much need it now. I wish it would just kind of go back to the way it used to be. Now, I've heard this game isn't all bad, so I'm going to give it a fighting chance. I'm going to cover all the different things the game has to offer. That's all the kind of different mission types and online things and other shit you can do. Not including the obligatory DLC, obviously. It's going to be a long one, but it's going to be fun, I promise. So stick with us and let's see where it goes. Now, I'm only going to talk briefly about the campaign because it's my least favourite part of Little Bo 3 Lost Her Shit. I did have quite a few points to make and things to rip, but after seeing the Gaming Sins video on YouTube covering Black Ops 3, I realised that it basically said everything that I had to say and more on how shit the campaign is. So if you haven't seen it, then follow the link on screen. I said follow the link on screen. Fuck it. The link's in the description anyway. Instead, I'm going to rattle off the very few things I did enjoy about the Black Ops 3 story mode. So the first thing I really enjoyed was the starting pistol you get. It's fairly powerful and can be fired almost as fast as my stubby little fingers could feather the trigger. I found myself using the pistol more than my primaries because it was much more fun. I felt like a bit of a badass popping open robot skulls with my 9mm gold-plated penis. The only other two guns I enjoyed were the August shotgun, I believe it's called, which is like a future version of the 1886, and what I like to call the Fuck You rifle, which I took the scope off and wandered around one-shot killing everybody until I grew tired and requested for my manservant to bring me another bowl of baby vomit to gargle whilst I cried. Another thing I did really like was the battle simulator you can access whilst you're in the game's various bases. This is your opportunity to test out any combination of weapons and powers you wish against a variety of enemies that attack you in waves. It will take you about an hour and a half to complete all 16 rounds, after which you're rewarded with some gear and a shiny trophy. Honestly, I had more fun with this than I did with the campaign itself, and if it was expanded upon with some more maps and pickups, it would probably work as a standalone game. It's kind of like zombie mode, but not as fast paced, which is good for me because I suck balls at zombie mode, which you'll probably find out soon. I want to give an honourable mention to this half on rails dogfight section, which was pretty cool, but it didn't make the cut because it only lasted about 30 seconds and the rest of the level following it was fucking horrid. Finally, for the campaign, I want to talk about the best mission in the game. It's called Demon Within, and you start off by fighting some crazy bitch in a mech suit, who I incidentally killed with my ultra pistol. Yep, there you go. We then try to read her thoughts and end up on some crazy adventure in her mind where we walk around looking at trees and weird babies and stuff, I guess. After some cutscenes where the plot is probably advanced, I'm not too sure because I'd completely given up on the bullshit plot by this point, we're dropped into Bastogne during the Second World War, where I one-shot kill people and pistol whip some army dudes before Hall stabs some guy like she's in a competition to see who can put the most holes in a person, which, incidentally, I am the reigning champion of. Then it's back to shooty shooty with more of the same, then a really cool part where the earth rolls itself into a tasty Anglo-Ameri-German burrito, then more shooting, then I got bored and ran to the exit. After that, it's more of the same again, and finally we run into a very small church and have a close quarter battle with one of those walking mech things, although mine didn't seem to have any legs until someone reminded him to grow some, and I spent the battle strategically hiding behind this glitched door. Like a strategist, not a coward. Oh, sorry, excuse me, gotta go and answer the door. Ah, cheers. Woo.
It's a letter. Ooh. Oh. Cool.
And finally we come to a zombie-infested house where, again, I strategically hid in a corner and popped off those undead bastards with surgical precision. Then at the end, you kill Hall. Now you may have noticed I didn't sound all that excited about this mission, and that's because I wasn't. I didn't say it was an amazing mission, I just simply said it was my favourite, so it's the best out of a bad bunch. Now, I want to leave this campaign mode with a homemade homage to some of Egypt's fallen warriors. Yes, we have here Drakeson, fine man, and here you will see Abdul Hiccup Farquhar, another fine soldier, and finally here we have the one who I'll probably miss the most, Jacques Puggles Baptiste. You were too young. You were too young. The bonus section of Bop's tray includes 3 games. Firstly, we have Freerun. This is basically a set of tutorial missions where you have to sprint, jump, fly, shoot, and wall run your way to the finish. It's kind of fun, but essentially it's getting you used to the new mechanics that have been introduced into the latest card games. There's 4 tracks of increasing difficulty to master. I tried a few of them out, and wouldn't you know it, I got stuck on the last one. The first few were pretty easy, then there's like a medium and hard sort of thing, nothing too challenging, but then that last one, fuck. Okay, so basically you start at the start, do a few jumps, you know, shoot a thing here, do another jump, get past all this shit. It's all pretty easy. As you can see, I did die a few times, but you know, I was doing pretty well up until this point, and can I get past this section? Maybe it's just because all this parkour stuff's new to me, or maybe I just suck at gaming, but this section can rot in a ditch after being abused by a sweaty truck driver. Alright, this is the one. This is the one. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
So, after that, as you can tell, this game can go and fuck itself. Oh, I did it. So after some more bullshit, I finally finished the stage after 18 minutes and 90 odd penalties. Not too bad, I mean, come on. That was pretty fucking hard. I bet the world record's only like a few seconds shy of that.
It's high score on Freerun called. There we go.
So secondly for the bonus mode is Dead Ops Arcade. It's a top-down shooter in the vein of Smash TV, if you ever played that back in the day. A similar game featured in the first Black Ops, I think it was, which personally I enjoyed more than this iteration. Don't ask me why, I guess it just feels a bit better. I don't know, the weapons had more impact and it was a lot easier to follow what was going on the screen. That aside, I was excited to hear Arcade had returned. I did enjoy playing it, but it just didn't tickle me the same way it did the first time round. The opening is a random pile of pixelated footage, which probably makes sense to someone. And the game itself is a lot more fun to play with others, and since I have no friends, I played it online with some 11-year-olds who had all, at some point or another, fucked my mother. Don't get me wrong, it was fun, I did enjoy it, there's a lot of power-ups, you can go first person, you can get bombs and run around and all that sort of shit, and in the later levels there are like crazy amounts of zombies, so it is good fun with other people as well when they aren't having sex with your mum. But yeah, it's worth looking at, definitely. Finally, for the bonus section, we have Nightmare. Now, I don't know if it's new to Call of Duty, but this mode is definitely new to me. The basic premise is that you get to play all those amazing, fun-filled campaign missions. Only this time, all the enemies are zombies. This can be quite fun. I didn't play all of the missions in this mode, but some of them are a lot better than their original campaign counterparts. They do have some cool, like, choke points where you can just mow down dozens and dozens of zombies or fucking mechanical undead. I'm not sure exactly what they're supposed to be. The most disappointing part of the side game is that they basically try to make a whole new campaign by having some whine and fart box do a monologue over the entire game, talking about some angels and demons bullshit. Pretty cheap and again, totally unnecessary. And as a side note, as I was writing this, Gaming Since hadn't done a video on this, but now they actually have, so, why not go and check out their video too? They, pretty much cover everything. Why it's shit, why it's pointless, and yeah, they do a good job of it. It can be a little bit exciting running around in Bastogne again, shooting undead with my nice rifle and pistol and stuff, but it really doesn't warrant playing the whole campaign through again just to listen to the bullshit that they've made up. Again, this mode is a lot more fun with friends, but most of my fire team kept leaving for unknown reasons, probably because they've already fucked my mother and were on the hunt for fresh maternal meat. All in all, this mode serves as a distraction from how shit the campaign is, but that's about it. Now, I'm going to keep this section short because, like I mentioned before, I've never been good at zombie mode in any Call of Duty game, and also I accidentally deleted all my footage, but honestly, you're not missing out on anything. It was just a bunch of me dying repeatedly and not understanding how to use the beast mode, I think. I don't fucking know. Anyway, it's too fast-paced for me, and I get incredibly anxious knowing that I'm never safe for long, and my back is never really covered. That being said, my experience with zombies came twofold this time around. My first time trying it, I was alone. I jumped straight into the game from the start. I got my ass almost literally handed to me. I couldn't even get out of the first alleyway. But the second time I played zombies, I joined a group of chaps who, for a pleasant change, hadn't fucked my mother, which was nice. It must have been a day off. But anyway, they took me under their wing, and as I basically ruined their game by running around, buying the worst weapons, and needing to be revived every 12 seconds. To be totally honest, it wasn't going too bad. I'd survived for a while, opened a few doors, bought some new guns. Only then I got bored of waiting around for everyone. I didn't understand what they were doing. I'm sure they were doing something, important, like leveling something up or collecting money, or I really don't know. Zombies is a lot bigger than I realised it was, and I really don't have the time to get into it. But anyway, I got bored and I ran off where I got killed. Then, in a cruel twist of fate at the end of the match, I found out, it turned out they had in fact fucked my mother. And finally we arrive at the coup de grace of all Call of Duty games, the online multiplayer. Now, I fucking loved the first few COD games and their online modes. They were guttural, simple, and they played well. That's what made them awesome. Slowly things like kill streaks and perks were introduced, which I didn't mind as they added a new element to the gameplay, but they were simple enough to understand and use, so it never really got in the way of the overall experience. Sadly, my next point is what has ruined Call of Duty Online, like, especially for me. There's just too much chaff now that it's almost impossible to find the wheat. I miss grabbing your favourite gun, throwing on a perk or two, getting into the action, and that's why COD was so good. But now, right, well, now you have to choose from 9 specialists, which is a choice nobody ever asked for, and then choose his perk, choose his helmet, glasses, armor, and his fucking boxer shorts, then create another class for the 95% of the match where you're not using the specialist, where you choose a primary, add a camo, then add up to 6 attachments to it, then do the same with your secondary, then choose a lethal and tactical grenade, then choose a new set of up to 6 perks, then decide which wildcards you want to use, and then choose 3 score streaks from the list of 18 scene, then decide which game you want to play from a list of 20 game modes, not including DLC, and then finally, after all of that, after that epic struggle, you can finally realise it's time to head out to work because you're an adult now, and the only people who have time for this shit are hyped up little bastards with no job yet and a fridge full of Monster Energy poison to keep them playing long into the night and still have the energy left over to fuck my mother. Sorry about that, but that basically sums up my feelings towards Call of Duty Online these days. It's just so fucking convoluted and has bleeding pus-filled wounds from where the developers have tried to force more and more content into it, but the poor fleshy vessel just can't handle it. Long story short, I'm fucking terrible at this. Somehow I die just as fast in normal mode as I do in hardcore mode, so I figured I'd play in hardcore to try and even the field, but nope. I died and died and died before a player was even in my fucking periphery, before my old poor brain had even registered that there was a player there. He'd already killed me, teabagged me, had a swig of energy drink, and texted my mum to tell her to start warming up. There was nothing I could do. I figured I would grind a bit, try and get some better weapons or upgrades, but before I even hit level 5, I could handle no more. This game has become a game for the elite, like Counter-Strike or Team Fortress. There's no way an average Joe like me, who is limited to about 10 hours of game time a week, could possibly compete with the people who are actually good at this game. This had never been the case before with the Call of Duty, up until the last few installments. I mean, shit, I used to kick ass at World of War and the original Modern Warfare. But I swear, even if I played nothing but Black Ops 3 in every spare hour I had, I would still come nowhere near to be able to play it at a decent level. And you can fucking fly in a Call of Duty game. Call of Duty started out looking like this. What the fuck has happened? Yes, I'm sure there are a ton of you out there calling me a whiny bitch and a shit gamer, etc, etc. But honestly, I want to see a game where casual gamers can have just as much fun as the full-time COD whores. And Black Ops 3 does not deliver on that, not one bit. And it's because of this, I honestly believe that Black Ops 3 is the worst online experience ever provided by a Call of Duty game. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up my review of Call of Duty Black Ops 3. As you can tell, I'm not a huge fan of it. I kind of lost interest in Call of Duty a few years back. I think a lot of people did. You know, you've still got the hardcore players, and you know, I'm glad they enjoy it. I'm glad they get the hours out of it. That's lovely for them, but it's just not for me. So yeah, that's that. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you did watch, there's going to be a lot more content just like this. So you know, subscribe to the channel, like it if you did, and there'll be plenty more to come. Cheers. Oh, I need to go answer the door. Cheers. Ooh. Ooh. That's exciting. Got milk fucking everywhere.